Hey guys, don't know if you can see me yet. There you are. Hey guys, good morning. Welcome. Hello Alex Wilson, V Ready, Tween, Thatcher's Dead, Layla Wolf, Velcro Muff. Come on everyone, I'm just going to ask people on Twitter to come on over. I have given them fair warning. I'm just going to ask the guys on Facebook to come over as well. I really want this to hit everyone from all sides, so I'm going to have to put in the legwork in terms of social media and try and get everyone over. I've had some friend requests. Just after getting a friend request on Facebook from someone who I was already friends with, so it looks to me like they deleted me at some point and now they regret their decision. So I'm gonna think on that. I'm going to think on that. Thanks for the sub, Ross. Thanks for the sub, Mr. Sherry. Guys, Ryan has said back to this shite. Well, let me tell you, if you have a problem with this, if you're not going to enjoy this morning's find your finds, then just let me know at the end that this is not a project and a movement that you yourself are eager to participate in, and we'll look at maybe pulling this project apart. It's no skin off my nose. I've got lots to get on with here at the Politics Bar. Just going to give it another minute for people to come in the door. There's still a few empty seats. Rossi asks Q&A at the ends. I think so. I think maybe for perhaps 9 till 9:20. We'll I think for the first 5 minutes this will just be induction and just having people come through the door, get seated, and then till about 9:20 we'll have the main Find Your Finds talk, but then perhaps for the last 10 minutes from 9:20 to 9:30 we'll have a Q&A, and then after that will be carriages. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that because that person keeps saying the same thing. I do ask everyone to not say the same thing over and over again in the chat. Okay, guys, welcome. It's just about to turn 9:05. And welcome to Malcolm's Find Your Finds. If you're new to this, what's happening here is I've put together a movement. I've came up with this idea. Thanks, Oyster, for the sub. Thank you. I've came up with this idea to help people find their finds, find your finds. A lot of people today, not exactly today, I mean today, just today's society, have lost their way, lost their passion. They don't know what they're passionate. Where is Job Lob? We're not going to talk about him anymore, El Vibrante. He's done his bit by revealing this thing that already existed. I thank him, but we have to move on. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to motivate you to find your finds. a lot of people, if you walked up to someone in the street, and we did this yesterday evening outside the politics bar, we walked up and footsteps a few people and said, can we ask you, what is it what are you looking for? And most of them said, I'm fine, I'll stay here. I said, no, I don't mean are you lost, I mean, what are you looking for in life? What's your passion? What's your motivation? What's your goal? What's your target? What's your 3-year plan, 5-year plan, 5-minute plan? And most of them could not answer that question. No one knew really what they were trying to find. Icarus is saying justice for job lobs. This is justice. Job lobs, I give full credit to the user in the chat yesterday, Job lobs, who said find your finds. But as I pointed out yesterday, it wasn't his idea. The reason why it's such a good phrase, find your finds, the reason why it rings true with me and you and hopefully all the new people are yet to come, is because it's a truism. A truism. Now, if someone worked out, I don't want to repeat or go over old grounds here, but if someone, the very first person to say 1 + 1 = 2, that does not make it. Let me put it another way. Imagine someone on a desert island somewhere right now, and that's where they were born. Job Lob says I'm being gaslighted. I think it's actually gaslit is the term. If someone was on a desert island, let's say they were born there, let's say their parents were cast away, and this child all by its own came up with the realization that 1 + 1 = 2, would you say that, and I'm talking about today, I'm not talking about back in caveman days, would you say that boy invented or discovered or came up with the idea of 1 + 1 = 2? Would you? I'm asking you a question, guys. I'm reading the chat. James says, yes, that's not true. Guys, you're not replying quick enough, and I'm sure I have the latency. Okay, yes, maybe no. Not sure. I think people are. I'm going to ask you again. Maybe I had the question wrong. If there was a kid by itself today, growing up on a desert island, and it came to the realization all by itself that 1 + 1 = 2, would you say that boy has invented or discovered the concept of 1 + 1 = 2 for the rest of us? Would you say that? Okay, I'm reading the chat. One chat is saying, no, you're taking the piss now. And I know you guys are trolling. I was warned about doing this webcam because I know there's a lot of trolls online. But someone up there says it is a truism. Quasi-Bub says it is a truism. That's correct. It's a truism. So he's not responsible. He can't take credit for 1 + 1 = 2. No more than Job Lobs can take credit for coming up with the phrase find your find yesterday, because that's a truism that's so great that it belongs to all of us. He surely wasn't the first person to say that, and even the first person who was to say that, they're merely revealing what was already going to be revealed or already existed. Some people say that a sculptor doesn't create the sculpture, it merely removes the parts around to reveal the sculpture beneath. That's what Find Your Find's about, and it's actually quite appropriate, because what I was trying to do today, I was trying to inject some energy. It's 9:10. What we're trying to do today is to try and help you to find your find, to find that direction, of find what it is you're looking for. And we're going to be doing this every morning until people get fed up. And so first of all, I just want to ask you guys, what is it that you personally, you feel you're maybe trying to find, that you're trying to find? I'm reading the chat here, guys. I'm reading it. Motivation. Canucks says, no, it's Wancha says motivation. Happiness, a purpose, a purpose, says Young Byrne. Young Byrne says a purpose. He means purpose, but he was obviously that eager to type it that he made a spelling mistake. Another person said motivation. I think that's what this is all about. How to find that desire to find something, find your find. So let's talk about that. How can you find your find? Do you ever, here's one way, and I was thinking about this last night in bed. Do you ever, sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. Do you ever I do apologise, guys. I sneezed. This can only happen live. This can only happen live. You know this is live now, because there is no way that would get through. That would make it past the cuts if this wasn't live. And I can prove to you it's live anyway. Gross, unhuman, so unprofessional, bless you, etc. You couldn't make it up, said Battered Bison. So how do you find your find? Young Byrne said, how do you find your purpose, meaning purpose? You know when you're trying to remember something and it's on the tip of your tongue, and you're saying to your friends or colleague, it's on the tip of my tongue, and the more you're trying to remember it, the harder it is. Do you ever feel that way? Sometimes you have to let it go. Well, maybe the key to finding your find today, and remember this is a daily webcam, maybe the key is to find. Maybe the key to finding your find is to not find it, is to not look for it. Just let it happen. Just let it go. Sometimes, I think it was John Lennon who said, life is what gets in the way when you're making plans, and it's kind of like that. If you just get on with your life today and stop thinking about all this, I'm just going to say it, all this self-help shit. I do apologise for the language, but it is after 9. It's after the watershed, so to speak. So today, just forget about forget about this. As I'm saying this, stop trying to find meaning in it. Stop trying to find some deep meaning that's going to help your life. Did you know that the people back in the old days that worked in the coal mines? Do you think those guys had the time for self-help? It's a controversial statement, but the guys working down the coal mines and the kids that were up the chimneys and so on, do you think they had time to wander into a bookstore and go to the self-help section? I don't think so. They were too busy getting on with it. Do you think people that are under fire today across the world, and we're coming up to Remembrance Day, do you think those guys that are defending and have defended our freedom in the past in the First World and Second World theatres of war, and the Pacific Theatre of War, and the Pacific Theatre of War, and hold on, I just have to time out this guy here. We just can't have that. We can't have that interfering. Do you think that those guys in the Pacific Theatre of War had a time, the guys in the trenches had a time for self-help? They were just too busy getting on with it and enjoying their life, creating bonds that lasted a lifetime. In the First World War in the trenches, bonds that lasted a lifetime for their short life. They didn't have the time to reflect. They were too busy deflecting, and that's what you should be doing. You should be so busy in there. You should be so busy. Guys, I think it's time for the Q&A a little bit earlier than planned. It's just gone 9:17. Battered Bison makes an interesting point. Those WWII Japanese soldiers that got found on an island in the 70s were too busy finding their finds. That's correct. That's correct. Did you know that after the Second World War, there were these Japanese soldiers who still thought, this is right in the 70s, they were deserted, and they thought the war was still going on, and they were obviously too busy finding their find, reflecting. What we want to be doing is guys, let's just move on to the Q&A. Let's move on to the Q&A, guys. Just your chat's actually down there. I think mine is here. Your chat's probably down there. Cunt Bay asks, who is your? You just made me say a dirty words. Who is your mentor, Malcolm? Who helped you find your find? That's a real great question. Well, as you can see, I'm here at the politics bar. And I think, sorry, I'm doing a lot of spitting here. I think you know when you're watching a film and it says based on a true story, and there's a character in it, not the main character, but one of the side characters, and you like that character. And you think that's fascinating. What a fascinating person that person is. So you go on to Wikipedia and you look up the film and you go to the section that says comparison with reality, based on how much is this true. I'd say that with it says it with the Buyers Club. What was that film called? The Buyers Club. I did it with that one, and I found out that what's his name's character, who's Dallas Buyers Club. I found out that what's his name's character, who's the other one, not the main one, the other one, him that played the Joker. I'll come back to that. Puritan says Jared Leno, that character in this supposed true story doesn't exist. In real, it never existed. Made up. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what was the film. It was about it's an American film, and it's a biographical film, and it's about this black American. I think he joins the Navy, the Marines. He had abusive childhood at the hands of his aunt, I believe, abusive childhood, and he grows up trying to find. It wasn't Will Smith. This is a film in the last 5 years. I do apologise for taking up the time here. It wasn't Will Smith. It's a true story. A true story. Guys, I have 9 minutes left. I'm going to need. It's not Moonlight. A bit older than that. It's a fucking true story. It's not Medal of Honor. It's not a war. It's not a war film. It's about him finding himself. And then he confronts his aunt at the end. Antoine Fisher. The film's called Antoine Fisher. And the touching story of a sailor, Derek Luke, who played by Derek Luke, who, prone to violent outbursts, is sent to a naval psychiatrist, played by Denzel Washington, for help. Refusing at first to open up, the young man eventually breaks down, reveals a horrific childhood. Through the guidance of his new doctors, he confronts his painful past and begins a quest to find a family he never knew. Now, after I watched that film, great film, I looked it up. The character of Denzel Washington, this psychiatrist, that's a true story. You see one of these ones, you see the person at the end who it's based on, and the Denzel Washington character, the psychiatrist, didn't exist. Didn't actually exist, but in the book, the Denzel Washington character, the things that were said by the character in the film are actually an amalgamation of various people that affected this Antoine Fisher's life. So the Denzel Washington psychiatrist character is actually an amalgamation of a few. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's not revealed at the end. If you read the book, you would find there's like 3 characters that the Denzel Washington character portrays, the things he says and the influence. So the question to me was, who has been my mentor and putting all this together, what you see behind you here at the Politics Bar to come along. It's been an amalgamation. I'm going to fictionalise the amalgamation. The film's called Antoine Fisher. There's been so many people who've helped me on this journey to the Politics Bar. It's been an absolute nightmare at times. If you guys have followed the story of Banter Man, then Banter Boy and Banter Rat, it's been a nightmare. It's been hard to get through. But who encouraged me to get to this point? Who sees me through? Whose words do I have ringing in my ear? That propel me on and nudge me on? Who got me here to the politics bar? Who got me interested in the politics bar? Well, maybe I should do an Antoine Fisher, and instead of naming various people like Nicola Sturgeon, people have inspired me, Dr. King, let's see, in a way, all the people I don't like, all the people, Thatcher, a very controversial figure, and in a way inspired a lot of people against her. A lot of people, it looks quiet in here, this is not quite opens up just yet. I like to do this before we open house. Various people, but I haven't got the time to go to name all these people, so why don't I amalgamate all these people into a single person? Can you think of a name, anyone? Can someone think, just say one name, and then I'll take one of those names from one person and one of those single names from another person and put them together. Someone says Steve, Bill, Craig, Daniel, Craig, Stan, Gareth. There's Craig and there's Ross. Craig and then Billy. Someone says Kanzi. I'm going to take the name Craig and I'm going to take the name Kanzi. My mentor, my main mentor for getting me here where I was today, it was Craig Kanzi. It's a bit of a unconventional sounding name. It makes you think of Kanzi, candy floss, an American word for sweeties. Kanzi, candy store. Craig Kanzi has been a tremendous mentor in my life and getting me here today at the politics bar. Craig Kanzi, guys, it's just gone 9:27. Craig Kanzi, who you sometimes pops into the politics bar. Someone just asked, mate, honestly, why is the bar so dark? Constantly talking about the lights. I'm going to have to let you go. I'm afraid. Craig Kanzi, who sometimes comes into the bar, so do come along if you want to sometimes meet. He sometimes sits about here, sometimes there if he wants to chat. Sometimes he sits over just there, so that he's sitting next to people because he's always up for chatting. That's how I got to meet him. He just came into this is back in university, Glasgow Uni, and he sat down next to me at the canteen, and there was like plenty of space, so many other seats to sit down at in this canteen, but he sat right down next to me, and I thought he was perhaps propositioning me, which I would have been fine with. I would have said no, but I'm fine with that. But he actually talked about politics in a way that he didn't actually talk. You couldn't with Craig. This is what I love about Craig Kanzi. To this day, I don't know, and this is having spent many man hours talking to him about it's a great laugh, C. McGurk, a great laugh. After spending many hundreds of hours in his presence talking politics, I could not tell you his political persuasion, and that to me is a great inspiration when starting up the politics bar. And guys, that's just turned 9:30. It's my time to go. But I hope what I just said there about Craig Cansey and about how he mentors and has mentored me, and how I adopted his philosophy, his trick, his illusion. I mean, he must have some political persuasion, but to this day, I just don't know what it is. I have learned from that if I want you guys to come in from all political persuasions, perhaps I have been accused once or twice of having a bit of a left-leaning tilt to my venue. I hope you come along and understand that I personally am welcoming all sorts of politics, and so do come along today, and we'll pick up tomorrow to let you know how that went. As I said, I welcome all types of people from all political persuasions to come in. Just don't ask me my political persuasion, because I'm not going to tell. That's the Craig Cansey methods. You know how you have these acting methods. That's the Craig Cansey political neutrality methods. So guys, tune in tomorrow, same time, same place. I will be here to tell you how today went, when hopefully I have a lot of people coming through the door having seen this. So guys, thank you very much, and you guys hopefully today find your fight. It's Malcolm from the Politics Bar saying goodbye, and have a great day.